So it looks like another classic Iron Man figure from the Hot Toys team Hono Studio is coming out soon. This is supposedly the more low-cost 1/6 scale version though, and let's take a closer look and see if it's worth your investment at all. Hey, what's up guys? So welcome back to the channel. So today we'll be diving into the new classic Iron Man figure from Hot Toys and produced specifically by the team at Hono Studio. Right, so for those who aren't familiar, Hono Studio is actually a subsidiary team and are the ones behind the recently announced Wolverine Brown costume figure as well. Right now, this specific figure is based off one of Tony Stark's first red and gold costumes derived from the comics. I believe it's actually Model 4 that was introduced way back when in 1968. Right now, Hono Studio is known more for grade and low cost 1/6 figures, but it's still good quality. They provide good articulation, generally speaking, but they don't really come with those highly intricate details and or accessories that typically come with Hot Toys. Right now, in terms of entry level, this is great for collectors, especially Iron Man fans, because it gives them another figure that they're able to purchase. Right. But overall, this does look like an interesting piece to own, especially since it has some nice looking paint on it, light up LED functions, and some decent accessories. So let's get more into it and see what his set has to offer. So in terms of dimensions, it is a 1/6 scale. It stands at about 12.6 inches and weighs about 3 pounds. It also comes with estimated 25 points of articulations. Right now, in terms of accessory, you do get some nice goodies here. Right, you do get that new metallic red and gold paint by Hono Studio. Right, so it's very close to his classic comic appearance. Right, that was derived in 1968. Right now, the body is newly designed, and arms and legs themselves are actually silicone, right? Not die-cast metal, and they're actually all seamless. It also comes with magnetic activated LED covers that turn on the arc reactor and repulsor palms. You also get two interchangeable masks, a pair of closed fists, and I think you also get the firing hands with LED light up on the repulsor accessory as well. Right, and what's also cool is they do have a comic book cover stand, which we'll dive more later into the video. But as you can see, it's not really a lot of accessories. That's essentially to be expected since this is again supposed to be an entry level type of figure with a little more focus on a figure rather than the sum of its parts, including accessories. Right now, as we look more into design, this is a very nice classic look Iron Man that figure that was pulled up very well by Hono Studios. Right, I do like the paint, the gold paint, and the mask has a really nice shine to it. And definitely feels more vibrant than your typical paint that you see on other Iron Man figures. Although I'm not sure how to hold up over time and what quality the paint actually is, but overall the actual look is great, right? Also, the arc reactor repulsor rays have a different tint of LED yellow on them for the LED lights. Again, we mentioned previously that the arms and legs are silicone. You don't really get joints on them, and it may feel weird to some because you won't get that jointed feeling when you actually pose this figure. If you think about the beating edge and or extremist versions, you feel the joints snap as you pose them, right? Here you won't. And if you're curious what the silicone is made out of, it's my understanding is it's similar to what they use in the adult industry, right? So it's expected to be very durable, all things considered. Again, not sure how it'll fare over time and whether or not it'll actually hold its shape and color throughout the years, but overall, it still looks great. And sculpting on the armor, the abs, and all the lines sort of on his hands, feet, areas, and those cool undies all came out pretty good, right? Now we look more into the costume and model details itself. Again, everything looks pretty good so far, right? It explores a really nice old school armor feel, and I really like how Hono Studio was able to deliver it here. Look on the arms and legs look good overall. Muscle tone looks nice, right? The curves are represented well with silicone itself. Arm pieces do have a lot of nice cuts and lines throughout the body. It's good separation, right, from the armor to the silicone, and but still has good connectivity, right? I also like how they kind of deliver the armor accents, like around the armpit area, then the neck area. It's done very well. Now there is some disjoint between the lower chest and upper torso, which is again to be expected because that's one of its articulation points. But nevertheless, it still feels very and looks fairly seamless. And you do get some nice LED points here. I think there's three in total, which you can see, right? You have the two repulsor rays, and one in each hand, and also the arc reactor slash unibeam, which you also see there as well. So overall, fairly well detailed for his classic costume, and it seems like Hono Studio has been able to nail him down pretty well. Now, if you look more into his two interchangeable mask features, right, this figure offers two styles of display. They're very similar in terms of expressions, but they do obviously have a different look here. Now, in my opinion, it doesn't change much aesthetically, especially since only a mask variant and only that mask itself is interchangeable, not the actual helmet. But nevertheless, it's still enough to showcase a different look in your display, so that's always a good thing, right? Here's a nice shot and close up of the masks themselves. They do look great. They have some nice, well-defined lines overall, especially on the side and top of the forehead. The eye and the mouth ports were done well. I also like that we can actually see his eyes, right? I'm not sure though what his Tony's face looks rather underneath the mask. Let me know comments if you have seen this floating over the internet, but I'm curious to see what his face actually looks like under the mask, right? You do see some slight gappage on the top center of his mask as well, right where the gold connects with the red. Otherwise, the face mask and helmet can actually do look good. And here's a closer look at the alternate mask as well. You can see the differences right away, right? This alternate mask, you can see it looks more mechanical in nature. The mouth ports and cuts do have a different design and feels more like an earlier, more obviously early design of his mask, like a Mark III versus Mark IV here, which is a rounded one. Overall, it's a good mask, and I really do like the overall details, right? And here's some nice shots of the full armor with the alternate mask on, right? You can see the display difference and gives you a good idea on how it would look on your shelves. Again, I definitely like the look of the other standard mask. This alternate mask feels a little too retro for me, even for a Mark IV costume such as this. I still like the symmetrical look of the random mask much better. But overall, the V shape looks kind of interesting, but it's probably not going to be something I heavily use in my display, right? It doesn't really break the overall design of the character or the figure itself, but again, preference wise, the rounded standard mask is better in my opinion. Now, as we take a closer look into the magnetically controlled LED functions, this is a nice, cool functionality that differs from other Iron Man figures that you see in the past. It's a magnetic activated LED in his hands and arc reactor, right? So essentially, you keep the magnet on both of the repulsors and his arc reactor to keep it turned off, and then you actually remove them to turn the lights, LED lights on. Right now, first it sounds pretty cool, but as I think more about it, it may actually be more of a problem over time. Like for example, if you have them in a display and want to occasionally turn on the LED lights, you actually have to get your hands on the magnets, pull them off individually versus having some sort of single switch to turn them all on at the same time, right? So depending on how you have them in display or your tabletop, it may get annoying very quickly, right? Still, it is a nice different functionality with this figure. I'm just not sure if it's practical over time, right? But that's something we'll have to see. Now, in terms of the base and the actual blueprint details, it does come with this nice comic book backdrop stand, right? So it's a nice little feature here that they provide to us. It comes with the corresponding comic that you see here that references his classic costume, right? And also, what's cool is you do have the option to change it out to a different one. So maybe if you have a nice different backdrop of the classic costume or any costume that you want to use or armor of Iron Man, you can replace it with this. So it's a nice look at the accessory, and it's great to have as part of the set. Now, pre-ordering is live on Sideshow's site, so feel free to use the link below to help you get there if you need it. It'll run you around $215 and expected to ship around Q1 to Q2 next year of 2025, right? So overall, this is a pretty decent figure set overall. Now, this may be priced higher than expected for a so-called budget line, right? Especially if you put it against Hono Studios' previously announced Brown Suit Wolverine, right, which was released for around $140. But considering it has LED functionally, the additional armor details, it's not strange that would be priced around $215. So overall, it's a decent spend for an entry level classic Iron Man suit like this. But if you want to upgrade to more detailed classic Iron Man figure, there's the Hot Toys version out there that does exist. So feel free to look more into that as well. And if you want to move more towards 112 and 6-inch 112 scale and 6-inch figures. That's also the Mayfex version as well. So there's a nice, good collection of the classic Iron Man suit figures out there, right? So there you have it, guys. Thanks for joining me today as we explore the new classic Iron Man figure from Hono Studio. Are you a fan of this new Iron Man classic figure design? Let me know in comments what really stands out to you, and if you plan on picking them up over any of the other Iron Man classic costume figures at all. And don't forget to smash that subscribe button for more content and coolest superhero collectibles around. And until next time, folks, keep on collecting.